So let's see. Okay. Could be that we're live. Hopefully you're seeing me. I'll say hello again. Welcome, everyone. So Akasha here, Nana Akasha, and please join me today for this magical journey. So I've been over here waiting for the connection to go through, and we've got some copal and some beautiful Palo Santo because we're going into the fairy realms today. We're going through the mist. We're going back to Avalon again because Morgan Le Fay, if you're familiar with her, is quite well known in mythology and King Arthur and in other realms, certainly in goddess realms. So this is a beautiful essence for us, very soft wood. So we're calling on the wood, the essence, the energy, the magic, the being of the trees, of wood. And this is a greenwood dragon year. So welcome Maureen and Lisa and Brittany. Ah, hey. Yeah, you're going. Oh, that's right. It's a long weekend, isn't it? Yes. Oh, Morgana keeps popping in your meditations. Lisa, excelente. So what we are doing with this is we're calling on the essence and the spirit of the trees so that they are welcoming us. I highly recommend that no matter what you do, you work with the earth, you work with the essence of the earth, whether you embody that as Gaia or Terra or Pachamama. It's also the atmosphere, it's the stars and the sun and the moon. It's the entire environment that we live in because we're affected by the planets. So this is the creation, and we are a part of all these things. And so when we go somewhere and we don't go there in reverence, if we don't enter with love, we're bringing energy to that place. If we're angry or frustrated, we're bringing that energy to that place. If that place could talk to you, and it is talking to you, but if you could understand it, it would maybe be saying, if we projected some human qualities onto it, it would be saying what? Hey, don't dump your shit on me, man. Now, Gaia doesn't say that. And what do we mean by Gaia? Well, one, energetically, the actual earth, 3D, and then the light body structures, just like us, that make up the possibility for the 3D earth, has medicines, right? We have herbs and flowers and crystals and waters and vortexes and, all kinds of things. I mean, all medicines come from the earth. Whether they're, turned into a pharmaceutical or they're, used as a tea, doesn't matter. Everything comes from the earth. Your body comes from the earth and the air we breathe and the water. And they've all been here and they all have wisdom and they all hold that wisdom. And if you know Dr. Emoto's work, he put an intention, a word, an emotion on a bottle of water and into it, and then froze it and saw that your intention and that water became encoded with a crystal that represented what you were feeling. And if it was something like hate or anger, it was all amorphous. It had no structure. It had no identity. It wasn't balanced. It wasn't in flow. There was no sacred geometry going on. It was like toxic blobs. So you are filled with water and you're filled with blood and you're filled with cerebral spinal fluid and lymph, and on it goes. So what you're feeling, what you're thinking is magic. The words you use is magic because what is it doing? It's literally making you sick or healthy, happy or unhappy, willing to do certain things or unwilling. Now, you program your body begins to resonate. Then as you access these higher states that we are going to the mists of Avalon for, we are talking to the stones, we go to the pyramids, we get in the waters, we go in the caves, we play with the dolphins, we talk to the spirit guides. Why? Because we are one. This is our family, Matakiwase. This is our family. All right. And we might be, here's my children and my husband and my mother and my father, and that's my family. Yes. So, and your uncles and so on. But we are one. And we're not just human family. We are all forms of earth. We are one with the crystals and the metal and the water and the trees and the clouds and everything, okay? And the animals and the butterflies and everything. So when you begin to realize that everything I think and everything I feel is not only affecting me, and I'm willing to sacrifice myself and my time and my self-care and what I'm willing to do and continue to ignore what I really want or whatever. Like everybody has patterns that we're breaking free from. So whatever, wherever you are on your story, we're all doing our stories side by side, like we're, threads in this beautiful rainbow gown. We're a rainbow tribe. We've existed in this unity, but we've been unaware of it. Now unity has been opened. It's like the top of our head has been opened. So please treat yourself as sacred, because if you think this tree is sacred and you protect it, and there's these beautiful picture I saw recently of these women like in the 1920s or something, or maybe further back in India, all in their beautiful saris, and they've chained themselves to this enormous tree. And they were dedicated to save the tree. Now, it wasn't to save it because, they could sell it or it would be worth more later. It was because it was a part of them. It is sacred, and it was old, and it was wise, and it was a teacher, and it was a healer, and a wisdom keeper, and is one of the standing people. And whatever culture, whatever lineage, whether a historical lineage you feel drawn to, pay attention, okay? Whether it's or repelled by, pay attention. And we're going to talk about that in a second. Your soul lineages are calling. This I've been immersed in about 3 months, I think, of going so deep into who am I, and who am I, because I've asked that many times over the 38 years or so that I've been on a spiritual path, and consciously, we're all on a spiritual path. And the unfolding of your journey is the point. What you're doing right now in this moment is the point. That is your purpose right now in the moment. The power you have in this moment is the only power you have. You cannot have power in the future, and you cannot have power in the past. They aren't existing in the way you think they exist. And it was a gathering of light that you created and had an interaction with, and then you imprinted it into the Akasha. And that's the fifth element. That's black matter, dark matter. That's, where everything is stored and you can access it. And you are emanating energy. And that energy is partially from your ancestor or your vows. It's partially from the fears or the agreements. It's partially for wanting to speak up, but not wanting to speak up. Hiding, learning to hide in the background in your family because it was scary and could be abusive, or you were criticized or ignored or whatever. Again, we all have our stories, and many of those stories are very similar. And then you come alive when my daughter died. Of course, I had empathy, compassion for somebody who had their child die, but I had no clue. No clue. No clue. Because why would I? Why would I ever have gone into that reality intentionally to materialize it now? I'm very grateful for it. I decided to stay alive and stood up like a warrior and took my wounds with me and followed that wounded trail. I am Chiron, and so are you. We are the wounded everything, from the child to the queen to the lover. We are and we are not, because nothing exists in this moment unless I am aware of it. And I am Put whatever your religion, whatever your favorite phrase is, I and source, I and the divine, I and the goddess, I and my father, I and. When you say I am, it is the declaration so far beyond what we've realized is like, well, make sure you say I am because it's in the current moment and then it doesn't keep your manifestations out in front of you. Very true. And energetically, this is what you want to become aware of. It isn't you're doing it right or you're doing it wrong. It's what's the vibration that you're putting out. And are you respecting the vibration? Because it's not just impacting you. So Morgane Le Fay. I'm so pleased you are here because there's a sense of very deep sisterhood, and that includes any gender. I've been struggling with what to say around that, and give me 1 second here. I already did a few interviews this morning, so I've been talking for hours, and so what's happening right now is we're in an evolutionary phase of accelerated evolution, which means in every level of life, from a tiny microbe through the fishes and the dirt and the monkeys and the cats, the air, birds, you, me, the table, everything. We're evolving because we've been given free reign by Gaia, by original creator, by nature, in whatever way you relate to that. Go for it. Just friggin' go for it. You know, we've been holding you back for a long time. You can call it the fall, you can call it the flood, you can call it whatever you want, but we know we've been separated from truth. And now we're waking up to see how we are the ones historically, ancestrally, and other lives we've had that came in and destroyed the sacred wisdom and destroyed the sacred knowledge and took 450 years or something here in the Maya land for the Spanish to stay here, just continuing to erase and kill and every form of, you know it, to completely obliterate a culture, a language, the wisdom. And whether it was here in Greece, anywhere on the planet, happened within cultures. You know, Mayans did it to Mayans, and Europeans did it to Europeans, and Americans did it to Americans. The idea that you are willing to desecrate something sacred, either from misunderstanding, greed, or power, we're not doing this anymore. And here's the solution. Stand up if you're a wounded mother. Your child doesn't have to have died. Maybe you wanted one and didn't have one. Maybe you lost them at birth. Maybe your children have grown up and just you don't have the relationship or the connection, or something else has happened, or you've been hurt. Stand up, because when we own that, we are in our power. All this conversation about owning your power, what does it really mean? We're terrified to own power. We don't see anybody handling power with any fucking wisdom. It's ridiculous. It's odd and unusual and takes effort to find people that actually walk their life in a sacred way and realize it's really important. It isn't frivolous. It isn't stupid. It isn't superstitious. And that everything that is being shoved down everyone's throat about this drama and that fear, it's just friggin' distraction. Look over here. Look over there. Look over there. Oh my God. Oh my God. Will you die tomorrow? Will your daughter breathe air tomorrow and everyone in your family will die? I mean, I don't watch any of this shit, and it just flows by out there in this little whirlwind of energetic drama. My world is Gaia. My world are these. My world is Chris and the birds and the coconut guardian trees that I talk to every day. I have this incredibly rich life, and it doesn't require that. I love to talk. Like this afternoon, I have my mastermind. I friggin' love my mastermind. It's amazing to see these people, get to know them, to watch them. I Brittany. Maureen. And it's so much fun to walk a path where you're standing in wherever you are. And you just stay there until you can't stand staying there anymore. And you can accelerate that by getting rid of those vows and fears to hold yourself back, because you might be hurt. You might be killed, outcast, hung, throat slit, financially ruined, ridiculed, humiliated, reputation ruined, kicked out of the family, disowned, we said that one, beheaded, burned at the stake, removed from the will. There's another one. All right. This law, that law, everybody who tells you that they're the authority, your church, your father, your mother, your teachers, your boss, they're the authority in one way, right? However, it's your choice whether you want to go there. Everything, okay? Friends, partners, children, whatever. Even these crystals, even this dragon, even Buddha, Mary, Isis, Kuan Yin, energies and beings I talk to all day long, they are a part of something that is so interesting in the present moment. That energy, it gives me radiance, it gives me healing, it gives me ideas, it creates a cocoon, it creates a sanctuary. I start to be in the moment. I start to remember what's really important, that I didn't come here to get caught up in a big hot mess of bullshit. It's happening. I'm not saying it's not happening, but I accept that it's happening, and I accept where's my path through it. My path is not in it. I have no interest to stand in the middle of the fight and add to the fight. The white tigers told me a very long time ago, and it was one of the most powerful animal communications I've ever had. And it was the first really, really, really like bam in your face one. And they told me, stop pitying us. We are not victims. We are sentient beings. We have our own agenda, our own mission, and we know what we're doing. Now, if my job is to inspire you to help the Humane Society, that might be part of your soul path. It's not that it's bad to worry about people treating, this weird voice coming through, how people treat animals. Absolutely, we want that to go up. But you don't do it through hating people and bringing that pity to the animal. You cannot bring that pity to yourself. You're not a victim. Stand up. Stand up. We have to connect to these women. We have to connect to these divine feminine archetypes. We have to connect to the holy women, the sacred women. They are part of the soil. If they lived in a physical body on this planet, their body and their DNA is still here. Their existence is still here. Their Akasha is still here. We can access all of it, and they live through time and space the same way you do. Whether they ever fully manifested in a body and they were more like an angelic being that came to lots of people, okay? The ability to stand in your power means you pick yourself up and you take a real look at where you are. And you say, what were the sacred agreements I made? What was the promise I made to my soul? Whether I can divine and understand the whole thing or not, I want to be in a communication with the divine. I want to operate at a level that's above this and doesn't judge, just watches and observes and chooses. Then you might be in a fight. It doesn't mean you don't defend yourself. Never ever believe that being loving or being accepting or being kind or being in harmony or forgiving means that you don't defend yourself, that you don't speak up for yourself. But you don't do it in a way where you're making anyone else wrong, and you don't do it in a way that you're having a conflict. So White Buffalo Calf Woman is very strong here right now. And if you're not familiar with her, she's a Lakota Sioux prophetess who came and said that when the white buffalo comes, and it's come several times now and recently, thank you, Brittany, it is a sign that she's coming. She's here. So we've just had another one. And it's a sign that this sacred divine feminine, this essence that she holds, whether her story or her myth or the different ways people perceive or have a relationship with her are different or not makes no difference, because she brought a message that when she returned, the rainbow tribe would come back together. And that doesn't have anything to do with peace or gay, lesbian, whatever, that flag there. This is different, okay? This is the rainbow, meaning all of us. We're all different, but we're one. And the rainbow is one. It's one energy that is expressing differently by embodying a different reality, a different energy. Red embodies certain qualities so that it appears red. Blue embodies certain qualities. It isn't trying to be red. It isn't wishing it was red. It's coming back into the moment and saying, I am blue, I am blue, I am blue. What does it feel like to be blue? Who am I? Who am I? What do I love to do? What would I do if I was given permission to do whatever I wanted? What would I do? And be willing to walk that path in a sacred way, to believe that it's out there, that there is a me out there that wants to meet me, and that I'm the one that's going to be written up in the fairy tale and in the myth and in the story and in the goddess books, because I'm the one that stood up in my wounds. I stood up in front of humiliation. I stood up in front of false accusation. I stood up in front of being misunderstood, being demonized, and all of my good and all my commitment I gave to Gaia, because Morgane Le Fay is an Avalon priestess, and she took vows to walk a sacred path. And that path was what they called at the time the goddess. It means the great goddess. It means the divine feminine. It doesn't mean the man is bad. It means that the divine feminine is the creative force that holds our original light, that created the light rays that come in and create form that we are made from. And this cycle was full of what we call magic now. They understood their words had power, and they used them very carefully. They were trained in these goddess schools to become priestesses of the land, of the goddess. What do you have to do first to become a priestess of the goddess? You have to realize you already are one. Because you want something and you are something are like that. How do you bridge that gap? There's science, wackadoodle, important scientists who say weird shit like, no matter how many times you did this, you can never get there. There's always an infinite number of space between you and that. Okay, pull your head out of the physical reality. Pull your head out that time is linear. Everything is a spiral. It's a sacred goddess. You start to realize things because your body owns it, because you are respecting your body. You're respecting Gaia. When you respect the way you treat yourself, what you make sure you get each day, then when you are burdened with an accusation, you do not crumble. You do not acquiesce. You stand in your power. You feel the grief, the sadness, whatever it is coming to you. You accept it. As it moves through you, it lightens and heightens, highlights parts of you. Those are the wounds. Those are the scars. Those are the parts that you maybe are hiding, you're not proud of, you feel like you shouldn't have. Or maybe you wear them on your sleeve, very proud that you're a wounded person or a survivor, and it has been a key identity. You accept that energy in, but it doesn't become you. It passes through you like something you eat. You pull from it what is nourishing, and the rest out. Gaia, the earth, and the frequencies around the earth, the solfeggio frequencies of the crust of the earth where we live, which is shifting a lot, which is why you're having ascension symptoms, is a part of Gaia. The rainbow is a part of Gaia. So the priestess of the goddess is a very serious path. It is very similar to a monk in that you don't go out in the world a lot. However, when you reach a place where you have been through all of the key initiations, and we all have that opportunity. Our lives are the path of the priestess. The path of the priestess means that regardless of your gender or your age, you are walking a path that you have decided is sacred, that you soul and everything that it took to get you here right now is important, is on a very important mission. It is fully funded, and whatever the purpose is, whether you fully know it or not, it is worth being committed to, and they will not go off the path. It is learning, remembering who you are, remembering this so that your words aren't poison to yourself, to the waters of the air, the waters of your body, the waters that you bathe in, that you feed, that send sacred energies up through the earth. Morgan Le Fay was Arthur's half-sister. Their beautiful mother was first with a different king and then became the king of Arthur Pendragon, Uther Pendragon, that's Arthur's father. The dragons were very real energy in this time. And so we are in a dragon year. Morgan Le Fay is like a dragon. It's like a feminine essence of that kind of strength because she stood through the criticism and the misunderstanding. She still stands the test of time, that many of us are finding her back through the mists, seeing past what we were told, to demonize all women, to think that any kind of divination, any kind of direct access, any kind of inner knowing, any kind of intuitive anything is somehow evil or bad. It's ridiculous, and any other idea is an imprisoning and controlling thought. Just because it's embedded in what's been happening on the planet doesn't mean it's okay. So Morgan Le Fay is Morgan the Fairy, or Morgan the Fate. She's one of the three fates. And the three fates, or the 9 Morgans, the 9 goddesses that lived in and still live in, they're going to be there when we go, in Avalon, in the tour. And 3 of them were triple goddesses, and these were fates. And Morgan Le Fay is many roles. So is she a fairy? She has a fairy lineage. Is she tiny like a little Victorian fairy? No. Celts had tall fairies, taller than us, very, very thin, very tall, very slender. All right. And pointed ears coming up from the back, very far back, and possibly a certain number of them with long skulls. Okay, that's an advanced brain for intuitive skills. Morgan is sometimes seen as a fairy with wings. Oh, and she's a human body. So what does that mean if you're a fae human? So I have a deck that's really beautiful that's called the Dragon Fae. And I think it's over there. And it is a combination of dragons and fae, fairy realms. Fae are a certain kind of nature spirit that are very strong everywhere in the planet, but very strong in England, of course, and very well known for being there. Very, very important for me, for my lineage, for my Celtic lineage, and for a lot of the work that's coming forward now is to realize we are one. We are one with the Fae. There's a part of you that may cross over. Maybe you have a lineage. Maybe you have an ancient DNA, a spiritual DNA that is a particular, could be anything, anywhere, any country, any tradition, any lineage. So could be another planet. And you have more than one. So the Fae have the ability to radiate, to help grow, to shift energies. You know, they're ethereal, they're subtle, but they have a very real realm. And when you do this work, when you come with Morgan Le Fay, when you go to see the Lady of the Lake, when you cross the lakes into Avalon, you're asking to reconnect to that divine feminine wisdom. And these archetypes are so beautiful. They've been there. Mary asked to come out. Mother Mary, she is one of the very few feminine archetypes of divine feminine wisdom and energy that lasted through all this darkness, all this forbidden to know your powers, to speak directly to earth or to spirits, to basically, speak to the divine every day and co-create. You were not allowed to do that. You had to suffer and give everything away and deny your truth, not seek it either. So I'm giving you permission to seek your truth. And Morgan Le Fay says, come with us. Let's see what's going to happen. She's a warrior because some things say she went to battle, but it's not, not the kind of warrior I'm talking about. I'm talking about somebody who didn't fade away, didn't go and hide when they were wounded. And she's had a lot of that. And maybe you have. So hello, darling. So let's take a look. I don't know if there's anything more here, but I want to allow her. I'll share this with you. So if you want to come to Avalon with me, it is more magical every day. The second part, we're going to have a rare lunar alignment with a beautiful lady who knows the sacred earth energies there. It's an 18.6 year rare alignment, and we're going to be on the spot where the moon is aligning with the stones. So like we're talking about the radiating of the energies of earth, or working with earth, or seeing earth as sacred and sacred energies. You have the sun and the moon have an effect on those energies. It increases certain emanations of ions or certain different chemicals or essences in the air from the stones at these times. And the whole place becomes a bath of divine feminine energy. So we're going to be there. It's going to be crazy good. So what happens, this here is what's called the tour, if you're familiar now. And this is the Isle of Avalon. There actually was water all around here. And we're going to be going up the tour. It's got the labyrinth around it. We're going to be going to the Chalice Well, to the White Springs. And we're going to be experiencing the land, the magic, learning dowsing, going to the sacred wells, doing activations, going to the goddess temple, having sound baths, doing all kinds of beautiful magical things. And you're going to learn how to douse and find all the sacred places. I know just where to take you to have dinner overlooking a sacred pyramid that was a 7-step pyramid that is bathed in the energies of the divine feminine and right on the Mary line. It's a current that gives you sacred energies. Very, very powerful. All right. So that was recently when everybody had the incredible Northern Lights come out. So make sure that you check with me, you talk to me, you come and check it out. And what we're going to do is, I guess I have to start over to change my screen. I don't know. Share. Here we go. Okay, my mouth's super dry. Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you. What's your experience with Morgane? Do you know who she is? Do you have a negative feeling toward her? Did you learn she was an evil sorceress? Did you learn she was the downfall of Arthur? Or, what is your relationship with her? Or anything else fun that you want to share? I would love to learn from you. We're a community and you have a lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom. So, okay. I'm going to get a little more water so I can speak, so Morgane can speak through me. And so this is a beautiful artwork that Chris made for me. He made me about 8 Morganes. So you'll probably see some more. And unfortunately, the words covered up her beautiful wand. But she is really here in this. You see the mists of Avalon. So when she was first taken there, when she agreed to follow the path, her destiny, she knew her destiny. She went with Vivienne, and she didn't leave for a very long time. And she was trained on the Isle. And then she became a high priestess. She became a lady of the lake. She became many of these things and embodied different roles. And she was the one that initiated Arthur into his kingdomhood. He had to go through a ritual with the goddess. And she also then had Arthur's child. So she is Arthur's sister and the mother of his child. So there's a lot of things to be judgmental about nowadays about her life. If she was living now, she would be shamed, accused, and humiliated, don't you think? Or maybe she would be feeling very, very ashamed of herself or afraid. I don't know. And then let's add to the pile here. Her son grew up to be the downfall of Arthur. Depending on what story that you follow, he killed him. He actually killed Arthur, or he went to battle against Arthur. In any way, it ended the idea of Camelot. And Camelot was the idea of nirvana. It was the idea of heaven on earth. It was the idea that we could live in harmony. The goddess and the power of the masculine. But the power of the masculine was growing greedy and growing bigger and taking over and shutting down the temples and shutting down people's connection. And they went back and turned many of the goddesses, the priestesses, the prophetess, the medicine women, the wise women, the holy women, the sacred grandmothers, you name it, whatever, and not just hunted them, but like in her time, just completely twisted her intentions and misunderstood intentionally. And perhaps you've had some of these experiences, okay? So then see what kind of judgment's coming up within you, because that's what she's here was telling me the other day, is that it's important now that the divine feminine is honored again, and that it may be a long time until you see the kind of sacred day-to-day walking or the honoring that people have. So what do we do? What do we have? We have the ability to create our own reality, to decide what we think, what we make things mean, who we talk to, what we think about, what we spend our time on. Do we walk in a sacred way? Do we take time, correct that posture, or take a breath, or realize somebody's pulling on your energy field and breathe yourself back? Or are you worrying about what other people think? Here's the thing. These divine archetypes, White Buffalo Calf Woman, Morgan Le Fay, they're all coming back. Even Merlin, he's like, me too. They're all coming back to say now, okay, now's the time to reconnect. Now's the time to reunite and to stand up inside of what you fear and see that once you walk through it, it can't hurt you anymore. To stand up inside of what has hurt you and what you are trying to avoid, or what you are carrying shame or judgment towards yourself for. Therefore, you're not freeing yourself to move on, because you can't pick up your wand. You can't make anything happen intentionally when you're burdened with all those energies. They are infecting everything you do, right? When you are becoming that chalice, that channel, that conduit, that pillar of light for the divine in body, now you're getting close to starting to get a whiff of your mission. And your mission is bigger than you imagined. You couldn't have imagined it before. You keep following. And then when you get hurt, when you fail, when someone criticizes you, when someone breaks up with you, when you don't get the job, whatever it is, stand up again and say, okay, wait a minute. I thought I took back my power. Now somebody else has my power because they just came and did something, and down went my mood, down went my energy. I got depressed. I had some kind of reaction that took me off my path. Stand up and be the warrior-ess. That doesn't mean the divine sacred feminine does not wage war. So I'm not a fan of the word warrior. However, warrioress. However, it's very important because most of us have been in a battle with ourselves, with our fears, with our bonds, with our agreements, with our reputations, with our fear of owning our sacred feminine. The sacred feminine has been demonized in so many ways that in many, all across all cultures, very sacred women were taken and turned into monsters and demons, or projected onto to have, negative intentions. And if you do have, harmful intentions, then, I'm not saying do whatever you want. What you're saying is stand up and accept yourself where you are. Don't allow anybody else's judgment of who you are. And this is where you're going to meet your fears from the past that told you to stay quiet, to not own your powers, to not do your sacred work, to not trust yourself, to not follow the path of your own divine light, and to not live in the present moment. All right. So, here we go. Okay, I think it's the first one. Yeah. Okay, good. So I'm going to give you this to read for a second while I grab some water. Well, it's one of those moments where the more I drink, the more I want to drink. Okay, so it's just taking a peek here at what you had to say. Lisa says, when I was younger, I knew of her because I was obsessed with Sword in the Stone. Me too. And Merlin and the Lady of the Lake. As I got older, his story and hers came up again and again. Art, music, sorcery. Yeah, it's such a, I want to say popular, just meaning well-known one, and woven with so many other storylines, like the whole knights and the Holy Grail quest. It's not really, but it is. And that means the seeking for your divine feminine. When you're looking for the chalice, you're looking for the sacred chalice, your sacred chalice, right? Your womb of creation, your secret powers, your divine feminine. Lately, she comes up in meditations. Oh, I love that. She's so strong, isn't she? You can feel her strength. We're usually walking in verdant grass together, traversing land, and she helps me feel stronger within myself and my own inner magic. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Kim. Hi, Kim. Yes, absolutely. Excited to know Morgan more since she showed up in our readings. Yes, that's true. Right, Marnie? I'm wearing a gown today, like the one I saw her wear in a recent meditation she showed up in, trying to channel her. Wow, regain my voice, great, and gracefully, powerfully take my next steps forward. Absolutely. Oh, I hear you. Oh, perfect. Yes. Well, everybody, Merlin to me is a little bit like people are saying, oh, I love Merlin. Merlin is similar to Mary. Okay, wait a minute, Mother Mary, in that he's survived being completely erased from our imagination. He somehow became a Disney thing. He somehow became a happy thing, that he was a magic guy instead of evil. And everything else made evil. And of course, witches are evil, but wizards aren't, and the whole thing like that. So, but what is very interesting is that the iconic energy, of a Merlin or a Mary or somebody that's lasted, it also has that familiarity, like a lot of you are saying, as a child, right? That sense of childhood. And of course, fairies, I think probably most of us believed in fairies once upon a time, right? So I'm just checking really quick here to see. Wow, I wonder if I could show these to you. I don't know if I can. I had some more Morgan Le Fay images, and I thought it might be kind of fun to watch, to show them, but I haven't put them on. This one's very nice. I think maybe that one. So yes, and it's that part of the imagination and the familiarity, and something about fairy tales, because it was a part of our cultural upbringing. It's really embedded in our psyche, and the idea of those forces of good and evil, and the dark forest being your inner self, and inside of there's an evil witch or a sorceress inside of a candy house, that wants to eat you. These like, wow. So one, demonizing the sacred feminine, but two, keeping you afraid to go within, keeping you afraid. If you go inside and you sit with yourself and you meditate and you talk to yourself, or you go into your shadow, this is what we need to do. So Morgan really holds the shadow, because she was so highly criticized and yet highly revered and loved now, in a way that's really, wow, opening up an enormous new, there's a bunch of new ones of Merlin too, an enormous new aspect of all of the things that we remember in our DNA, that are part of our childhood, that inner child, that fairy tale, that belief in magic, that fairy godmother thing. I was so blown away, because so many of my clients have called me fairy godmother over about 19 years now, I think, 18 maybe. And I love it, of course, instantly, but I was a little like, oh, I can't say that's okay. And then I finally embodied it. And then lately they've been telling me more, and whatever that means. And then I got this book called The Goddess Pages, and I'm hoping to have the woman who wrote it on my show. And the last goddess that she discusses in the book is the fairy godmother. And I dropped the book. I went, what? I've never heard anybody talk about the fairy godmother that way. And she talked about it like this divine feminine archetype, that embodies your wishes, that embodies, that it's like, will show up, will come to help you. Right? But all through the ages, when we were separated from our divine feminine, from our intuition, we weren't allowed to believe in that. We weren't allowed to talk to the fairies. We weren't allowed to, yes, witches burned and shunned and wizards revered. Exactly. You were afraid of Morgana when you were younger. Exactly. I was too. She was painted very dark. And sorcerer or sorceress, to be honest, they're both not a great connotation. But in reality, it's just somebody, again, who's doing earth magic. They're working with the elements. They're working with the elementals. So we call Merlin an alchemist, and it's okay, right? That was kind of like, well, it's sort of sciencey. And if you just call it magic and you get a cauldron out and you start throwing things in it and you start burning stuff and you start chanting, you're a witch and you're evil. But if you go to a Native American powwow and they start burning things and they start dancing around the cauldron or the fire and they do everything the same, but it's okay, right? So we have to see that the sacred pathways that we have in all the different lineages, and then our souls, our lineages are really calling to meet each other. So let me see if I can put these up. Otherwise we'll probably have to just wait for this to be later, because I don't even know how to do that here. So okay, well, and I'll show you that. I'll try something. There's something about the energy. Okay, here we go. Of these. And I'm going to see, so y'all are going to have to tell me if you can see it, or maybe I'll be able to tell. Okay, so I've opened them on my computer. I'm not able to put them on my slides at the moment. And now I'm going to share my screen. Pick a tab. Well, let's go ahead and pick this tab. But now I'm going to open this. So let's see if you see it. So hopefully you can see it. This is one of many of the Morgane Le Fay artworks that Chris made for me. So I described the environment that she's working with, the earth elementals. She's on the Isle of Avalon. So I think these are going to help us connect. You can start to relax, enjoy looking at them, feeling the energies. So I speak these through me. Chris brings them to life through the art. And this we haven't yet, but then we add our own magical symbols and codes. So when you resonate with this, you speak to this energy. It's very, very powerful. So there's the mists. She has her crown, because a crown activates your crown, which is your vision, your inner eye. It is your spiritual connection to all the different realms. It's how you communicate, divine, intuit, clairvoyance, whatever, every form of communication. And as a goddess, priestess of the earth medicines, which is what Morgane is, she had a very big mission. So she's coming in now. Wow. There's a heaviness in the top of the stomach, between the heart and the stomach. Like it's a heaviness. It's like carrying grief of a mother or grief of loss of a loved one. And she felt betrayed by Vivienne. She felt tricked. She felt her life was stolen, that her bond and love for Arthur, for her brother, was killed, was removed because of what she was called to do, and was tricked. She feels tricked, and she is a forest fairy. She is a fae of the land. She says the mists are a power that you claim after a goddess has fully gifted you. There's more. There's just always more. And being depleted isn't serving the all. So it's very important to come back into this connection. So you can see that my wand is glowing on the tip, and that I'm looking at the ravine, the mists, right? Looking in, there's the trees, there's the land, there's the stone. Now, there's these antennas coming up out of the crown. You're feeling all of this, okay? Feeling all of this. Can you see this, you guys? Could you see that picture? I hope so. So I wanted to just make sure you could see it. Okay, I'm going to show you another one. So here's another one. And, oops, I see you now. No, you don't see it. Okay. Oh, well. Yeah, it only lets me show a tab. So, okay, well, that's okay. So the image was of Morgane in a forest, and she's got this crown around her head that's like woven, like it almost seems like it's woven out of fabric. And there's these little trees, these little tendrils coming up. She's holding a wand in her hand. It's lit on the end, and there's mists coming up. She's looking down over. There's big trees and a lot of leaves, and the sun's coming through, but it's darkish because it's in the forest. And okay, here we go. And she's alone, so she wants to bring us here, bring us into Avalon this way. So I'm just putting these up here now, and I'm going to share my screen now properly with my okay, so let's see what we got. All right, let's see if we've got it now. Oh, okay. Okay. Renew, refresh, reboot. So one thing about Morgane Le Fay is that she's one of the fates. And if you think about that and you think about her destiny, you think about her path and how intricate and complex her life was. And that if this is a design of a life, you design your life. And, have you done that? Have you done this? Are you acknowledging, are you recognizing how intricate and intense and divine and incredible your life is? Your story isn't, oh my God, it's just terrible. It's, oh my God, it's a freaking amazing book, right? It's a freaking amazing soul journey. It's a quest for something. Okay. All right. Now we have Morgane with us. So we'll start with this Morgane who called us, and she has a wand that looks like a hand that's reaching up, light and feathers coming from it, calling the mists of the water so that you can enter Avalon here. Entering Avalon is called the other world. It is the goddess realm. It is the realm where magic and everything like that exists. So this was the one that we were looking at first. So take a moment and breathe yourself into this. Feel her crown on you. Go ahead and stand next to her. She's inviting you. This is a special kind of an entrance into Avalon, and she's got her wand to light the way. She knows the magic words. She was raised here. And you looking down, you're in your own beautiful gown like this, and perhaps there's fairies or you feel fairy wings, but the mists are starting to glow. There's a little bit of a color and light moving through them. You can tell she's very focused. It's like she's whispering some words and talking, and asking some energies to come up from deep in the ravine. They're starting to come up, to come up, to come up, to come up, to open and open and open. Now enter the forest. You're on the Isle of Avalon, and here is the Morgan that you're with. She shows you that when you have the presence in the moment, you're beautiful. You're beautiful everywhere you go, and your magic powers never leave you. You must stand up, and the beautiful gowns and the understanding of your power and the light will flow through you, and your intentions, your wand. Come back to Gaia, come back to the goddess, come back to the trees that are speaking to you. They are bringing you roots to give you foundation when everything feels like it's coming apart. Everything that she has on her has a magical power. She wants you to embody, stand here again, materialize yourself here in this corridor of light in this mystical forest in Avalon. Keep drinking it in through your eyes or close them as you feel called. But see yourself. What are you wearing? How does it feel? Maybe it looks like a beautiful necklace, but it's full of jewels, crystals, symbols. It has power. It is doing something. It is clearing your voice. It is empowering you. It is showing you the value. It is helping you speak true words, to create magic, to manifest your life as you were designed to. When you do this, you see that the light, the wand, comes directly from your hand, from your palm. It is an energy that lives within you that you're willing to shine. One way of speaking, one way of owning your voice, one way of walking your path, lighting your way, owning your power, despite anything that has been spoken against you, anything that you've spoken against yourself. When you fall victim to believe what they say, what they think, what they want, you have no power, you have no magic. The goddess forsakes no one, but if you make it a commitment to a sacred path, you cannot forsake the goddess. Therefore, you cannot forsake yourself. Where are you lost? Where are you believing your lack of power? Where are your scars, your wounds? Where are your betrayals? Where are yours? Those things that you've agreed to carry that aren't yours. Let them dissolve in the forest. This is a powerful place of healing. There is the earth, mother, and everything she holds within her. From the crystals in the waters to the beautiful rabbits, the burrowing owls, to the magical realms of the tree spirits. This is the land of the Fae. I am Morgane Le Fay, and this is who I want to be for you today. Today I want you to become you and Fae. To be Fae means that you take your fate into your own hands. To be Fae means that you stand in your power regardless of where you are, because you are one with Earth through body and blood. You are one with Earth through where you walk, where you talk, what you eat, what you drink, what you breathe. You cannot escape being one with the goddess. And the goddess says, honor yourself, love yourself. There are no scars. There is no betrayal. There is no loss that you need fear ever again. Becoming the Fae. This is a transformational, shape-shifting experience. I became Fae in my goddess trainings. Barely anyone speaks of this. Why? Because my earth connection, that goddess is within my heart, within my womb. There's a direct connection that I cannot stop and I cannot deny. I agreed to carry the creation of the divine. That means all that I am is divine. That means that the breath I breathe is divine, that the words that I speak is divine. I am Morgane. Accused, yes. Am I innocent of living life? No. Have I done anything to intentionally separate myself from my sacred path? Yes, only one. When I discovered that my son was with my brother Arthur, the betrayal at Vivienne, at the Lady of the Lake, at my sacred priestess, my high priestess, my goddess, my sister, my love, my mother for most of my life, had allowed me to go through my sacred priestess rites and create what I thought was an act against my truth. That betrayal was in the sacred path. Both of us had agreed to it. My grief and my sadness for the result of one of my timelines, and you know many. You have many timelines too. Some of them are already telling stories of inspiration to others. The Fae say that it is a realm, it is a mist, it is a green energy of life force. In a jungle, in a forest, in a desert, in a cave, the Fae are all places, tiny, minute, almost invisible, subtle, real, tall, all forms of Fae. And the realm that it supports existing within the earth, on the earth, and a little bit above the earth. When you walk from your sacred belly button down, you are walking in the realm of the Fae. What I realized was that no matter how much grief I experienced or loss or pain, and this is true for you, it was in the moment what was the most optimal, the most possible to bring you to this moment, and you are here. So all that you have lived, forgive it. Forgive those who hurt you, because you are required to take up your powers. You must light your own way. You must embody all of the energies that are a part of your unique magic. The realm of the Fae exists in multiple dimensions. They appear in the physical. They interact as spirits or devas of nature. They are also in other realms, and they know how to move through them. They have many powers. They work with many elementals. There is no shortage of what you need here. They ask if you could remember that you were abundantly supported. And this is what my secret was. Even though I felt in a way that the divine, the goddess in the form of my teacher, my beloved, trusted guide, I judged her. I judged what happened. I judged myself. I judged all others. And all of that led to even more tragic circumstances. It is what it is. And yet, there are many other timelines that I can exist in, and you can too. You're already walking in the Fae. You are walking on the crust of the earth. There's a different energy on the earth and in the earth. There's a different energy in the dirt, in the water, in the cave, in the forest, on the mountain. There's a different earth magic energy, and it is as sacred as possible. And here's where you gain the strength. You reclaim the nourishment as you walk. Feel that around you, around your belly and your hips. Feel yourself. Draw it into your womb. Fill your root. Allow it to fill the muscles and the knees, the feet, the toes, the ankles. Just feel as if you are bathed in fairy energies. It is like a band of light all around you. Now, one more, Morgane would like to speak. She's now in the water, the sacred waters of Avalon. These are not the waters around the Isle. These are the waters within the Isle. These are the waters produced by Gaia. These are the sacred waters that hold all the codes of healing, of magic, of remembering your truth, of freeing yourself from the poison that has been spread about your powers and you. You are here of pure intention, or you would not be here right now. You are here with this group, with this community, and you have connected with me because your heart is true. And now I ask you to join me here on this sacred shore. You can see that the lilies are blooming. They're all white. This is showing you the opening of your crown is happening. I've opened the wings on my crown. The water is opening. The lotus within your crown. All of the energies are offering you a new freedom for your mind, for yourself to reconnect to the truth. The truth is not the judgment or what you wished or what you judged happened or anyone else. And now call to you from these deepest enchanted waters all the power that you have given away because you were misunderstood, disliked, shunned, outcast, criticized, ridiculed, bullied, not seen, not accepted, not appreciated, not valued, underpaid, overworked, exhausted. Call forth. And now the sacred spiral begins to stir. Stirs within the waters around the lilies. The waters begin to rise. They rise all the way up around you. You're now submerged in these charmed waters. You can easily see and breathe, and you look around. Morgane says, when you are a priestess of the Avalon of the waters, you must go into the depths. That means that you experience the deepest feelings, and all of your hurts are buried here. Pick up your wand now. Know that you have your crown activated and enlightened many times over. Give yourself the charm, the spell, the command. I am that I am, and I now free myself from all judgment, past, present, or future, from me or anyone, my ties or bonds, to any agreement that limits me. Now you begin to see the waters. They're becoming clear, beautiful. There's like a luminous essence to it. Everything is shimmering with that extra sense of life force. Now is the time to own your magic and your power. It is your strength, and it is what will help you survive and then thrive. It will help you accept whatever you are going through. You must stand in it. You must hold your sacral and honor what is within it. Give it permission to come from the shadows, to strip it of humiliation and shame, to give it that moment in the sun. And feed it now with your magic wand. Feed it now with the light coming from all of the lotuses, all of the awakening crown centers. Over and over, you feel a connection and a transformation. And now that you are standing on the shore once again, standing here, holding your wand of light, feeling your connection to the air as it blows past you in a gentle breeze, caressing your skin, speaking to you, speaking deeply to your soul and your heart. Now, embody all of the beautiful lotuses. Ask for their magic and their essence and their truth to come to you and through you. Rise up. As you accept this purity, this white light, you are purifying yourself, that you no longer agree with anything anyone has called you out of fear, hate, anger, and pain, that you no longer will play the role to anyone's anger, judgment, or violence. Now, bring everything into the sacred spiral. This is the place to create and uncreate, to recreate. And you can step in now. Feel the wings on your crown lifting you up higher and higher, moving out, moving through, moving, flying, soaring. You're coming onto a hill now. There are little fey children that seem to be about 2 feet tall, sitting, wanting you to sit next to them. One has a green skin. Another one is a little more blue, but very, very light and white. See-through and then not, smiling and then disappearing. Come back to the earth over and over. Remember that you're sacred. You're part of a sacred path and a lineage, that you have a purpose that's very important, and there's a reason that you're here. That every pain and hurt and wound, every misunderstanding, and every unfulfilled desire is a part of the strength, wisdom, and knowledge that you carry. You are one with the earth wisdom. This is very important because you cannot be separate when you're one. It comes with you everywhere you go. This is the time to remember that. You are never alone. You are never alone. You are never. Now, feel the earth beneath you and feel the chair, the room. Bring yourself into this space and into this moment, and remember that Gaia is here and I am here, and you are loved for everything, and you are revered and respected and valued for all that you have been through. You are not a survivor. You are a strong leader of your own life. Your path is taking a turn up the hill now. It will require effort and focus. It will require continuing to step out and climb. And yet you have the strength within you. You have the strength of the dragon. You have the strength of your wisdom. And you do have the strength of all of these lineages and everything that's happened to you in any life that was painful, that was fateful. These are your power. These are your elixir. They stand now to feed you again and again with the wisdom that you gained. So, as you come back into the moment, bring all of the wisdom and the fae and the fact that our answers are here if we connect and realize that our body is one with the earth, and that we're walking in these fae energies, and that the wisdom of our crown is opening and blooming. Beautiful. We are. That's your stomach today. All right, my love. So I'm super expanded in fairyland, and I'm going to go be with that. So namaste. I'm going to carry this with me everywhere I go, and I ask this beautiful wisdom and knowledge and this new connection to this divine feminine as an archetype, as a leader, as a mother, as a sister, as a guide, as a healer, as a beautiful role model, because she came back over and over again, regardless of what had happened. She did complete her mission, and her mission was so important. It wove together so many lives, and it wove together into this time. And this is who you are, and this is what you are doing. So do not judge your path. Revere it, honor it, respect it, value it. Remember, you are telling it, you are living it, and then you will retell it. What will you tell? Bring the light of the forest and the earth and the woods. Bring the fae. Bring all of this beautiful, divine, magical energy and the sacred earth goddess from this and any of our soul lineages. We are ready and willing and open and receptive to receive a connection to these divine energies of love and magic, healing and creation. And we agree to walk with these powers, with these healings, and with these secrets within us, honoring and revering that these are the seeds of creation, that I carry them within me, and that everything I do and everything I say is creating something new. Today I choose to be the voice of. Now choose your word. What do you want to be the voice of today? The voice of harmony, the voice of love, the voice of peace, the voice heard by millions, the voice heard by one particular person. I am the voice. And now allow yourself, if you would like, to merge into this moment. It's very important to take this wisdom as deep as possible, because when you realize the extent to which you hold yourself back in subtle ways and in big ways, in ways you can't see and don't realize, it's all part of that. And it's calling now. The mists must be parted. We must remember our sacredness. And I love the part in the beginning about the sacred waters within us and respecting ourselves and the earth by treating ourselves well and not bringing toxic thoughts and emotions with us. So have a beautiful and blessed day. Enjoy still the full moon, absolutely divine. And I hope to see you soon. I'm not sure what we're doing next, but there's a lot of magic coming. So make sure you subscribe and go and spread the magic everywhere you go. So I've been remembering a lot lately that when I left the United States to just start traveling around and seeing what happened 8.5 years ago, I went to the Redwoods and I was there for about a week, and I was speaking at a conference, and I would walk out into the Redwoods and they are super friggin' powerful and almost scary, to be honest. And every day by myself, and I would meditate in different spots and talk. It's a very multidimensional space. The fae, all of the magic realms between the trees, they're very dimensional doorways. It's a place you need to understand the depth of magic, the way like here you have to understand the jungle. The jungle has its true magic. It's very powerful earth magic. And if you grew up in a city or a town or a normal place, you haven't experienced the density, the intensity of that. And that's very interesting. All right, so I'm going to close and tell that story later. All right, namaste. Lots of love, everybody. Thank you. Please share. Please share.